Hello, welcome to section 2.2, which deals with solving word problems. And I know everybody loves word problems, right? So we're going to go through different types of word problems and how to solve them. What are the type of questions you need to be asking yourself? What are you looking for? Which quantity is the variable going to represent? All that good stuff. So here's a strategy, right? So first thing you need to do, and this may sound obvious, but it's really not. You actually need to read the problem thoroughly. So some people think, oh, I just have to skim it. I don't really need to read what's going on or, pay attention. So that's not the way to go, because then you'll just be confused at the end of it and you're not even going to be sure of which one's your variable, what have you. So make sure that you understand everything that the problem is talking about, and that you're also identifying, what is this question asking me? What do they want? What do they want me to find or figure out? And then you have to give it a name, And then when you figure out what the question is asking you for, that's usually your variable. That'll usually be your x. And then from there, you translate into a question. Sometimes into an equation. Sometimes there's other parts of the problem that can be expressed as an expression using that variable. So let's say if they're talking about two people and one of them is X, the one's age is X, the other one would be like X plus 12. It just depends. And then once we get the equation, we solve it and we can check. And then let's answer the question if you have a time space with a complete sentence that makes sense. So let's get started. Here we have the sum of, so something's being added, the sum of 7 times a number. So what expression represents 7 times a number? That's 7n. And 8, so okay, the word is directly translates to an equality, 36. So to find the number, we just need to solve this equation here, right? We subtract 8 from both sides, bring down the 7n. 36 minus 8 is what? 28 today. Divide by 7. And you get that n is equal to 4, and that's it. So the number is 4. Let's do another problem. Okay. Normal yearly snowfall at the local ski resort is 12 inches more, so that's something, than twice the amount it received last season. The normal yearly snowfall is 62 inches. What was the snowfall last season? So last season, we're going to let that be x. So let x equal snowfall last season, because that's what the question is asking for, okay? Now, normally, it says the normal snowfall is 62 inches. So they also tell you that normal snowfall is 62 inches. Equals 62 inches. Okay, so that's interesting. And then what else do they tell us? They say that the normal snowfall, so that's 62, so that equals 12 inches more than, so that means whatever you're going to add 12 to it, then twice the amount it received last season. But what do we represent last season with? That's x. So 12 inches more than twice x, okay? And then from here, we just solve. Okay, you get 50 is equal to 2x, divide by 2. So x equals 25 inches. So the snowfall last season was 25 inches. So snowfall last season was 25 inches. Okay, all right, let's do another one. The sum of two numbers is negative 15. Okay, so we know that we're going to add two things. One number is 9 less than the other. Find the numbers. So let x equal one of the numbers. Let x equal, let's call it the other number. And then the one of them is 9 less than that. So, or first number. So second number, or the first number is 9 less than the other, okay? And x can be the other. Now the sum of these two, the sum is negative 15. So that means that x plus x minus 9 is equal to negative 15. So we combine like terms. 2x minus 9 equals negative 15. We add 9 to both sides to clear it. 2x is equal to negative 6. So divide by 2, we get x is equal to negative 3. But it says find the numbers. So if one of them is negative 3, what's the other one? Remember, we expressed that as x minus 9. So the other number will be, negative 12. Okay, so we have negative 3 minus 9 is equal to negative 12. So we have the numbers are negative 3 and negative 12. Okay. All right. So some of the problems that you will encounter use what we call consecutive integers. Now, don't let that word, disturb you or bother you or whatever. Consecutive just means one right after the other, okay? So look at these examples. We have consecutive integers. If you think about the number line, they're the numbers that immediately follow each other. So consecutive, right? Increasing. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are all consecutive. Negative 10, plus 1, negative 9, plus 1, negative 8, plus 1, negative 7, 150, 151, 152, 153, right? So let's say here's an example. We want 3 consecutive integers whose sum is negative 54. So we let n equal the first integer. The next integer is going to be n plus 1. And then the one after that is one more, so that's going to be n plus 2. So n plus 2 represents the third consecutive integer, okay? And then the sum of these equals negative 54. So I don't know why I wrote 2. 54. So let's go ahead and do like terms. 3n plus 3 is equal to negative 54. Let's solve for n. Subtract 3n is equal to negative 57. Divide by 3. So n is equal to negative 19. So that's the first one. The next one, n plus 1, will be negative 19 plus 1, which is negative 18. The next one, n plus 2, will then be the next one after that, which is negative 17. So the three numbers are negative 19, negative 18, and negative 17. Okay? Now, let's talk about even or odd integers. So if you have consecutive even or odd, notice the following pattern. Okay, so let's say here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so here's the first odd. Notice the next consecutive odd, and then the next consecutive odd. So, or let's say we were talking about evens. Here's the first even one. Here's the next even one. Here's the next even one. Do you see the pattern? They're 2 numbers away, right? You never have an even number, 2 even numbers in a row on the number line, or 2 odd numbers, okay? It alternates, okay? So when we're doing something like this, where we have 3 consecutive even, keyword even, integers whose sum is 120, we can let n equal the first even, then add 2 to be the second, and then add 2 more. So n plus 4 will equal the third consecutive integer, even integer. So we add them because it says here whose sum is 120. N plus 2 plus n plus 4 equals 120. So let's combine like terms. We get 3n plus 6 equals 120. Solving for n, 3n is equal to 114. Divide by 3. We get n is equal to 38. And then the next one, n plus 2, is going to be 40, right? 38 plus 2 is 40. N plus 4 is going to be 42. So your 3 integers are 38, even integers, 38, 40, and 42. Okay? And the same logic applies if they ask for consecutive odd. Okay, so some of you might say, well, how come I don't add, n plus 1, n plus 3, n plus 5? Because look at the numbers on the number line. It doesn't make sense to do that. Okay, so consecutive odd, here's 1. The next odd is 2 spaces away. Okay, All right. Okay, so let's do a few more problems. We're going to start doing percentages after this. So we have a married couple together earns $110,000 a year. The wife earns, so we have what the wife earns and what the husband earns, or wife and wife, husband and husband, who knows. So the husband earns, it says, what does the husband earn? So that would be X. And the wife earns 16,000 less than twice. So 16,000 less than twice what her husband earns. So that's 2X. Okay. Now together they earn 110,000. So 2X minus 16,000 plus X is equal to 110,000. So like terms, we have 3X minus 16,000 is equal to 110,000. What do I do next? If you said add 16,000 to both sides, you're right. Okay, and now what am I going to do? So I add this, that clears here. 3X is equal to 126,000. If you said divide by 3, you're not wrong. So then X will equal, which is what the husband earns, 42,000. And then you need to figure out what the wife earns, which is 2X minus 16,000. So 2X minus 16,000 means 2 times 42,000 minus 16,000. So that's going to be, I'm running out of space. 84,000 minus 16,000. So that's going to be 68,000. 68,000. So that's what, if you wanted to find out what the wife earns, but the husband earns 42,000. Okay, great. Okay, so the next thing, we're translating and we're solving. So this is going to be, these type of problems are super easy because you could just use direct translation, okay? Now remember, we do not, when we're multiplying by a percent or we're finding the percent of something, we don't use the numerical like percent sign. We have to convert it to a decimal and then we can go ahead and do our operation. So this question says, what number is 45% of 84? So remember, so some super fun tips, right? When you see the word is, that means if you're doing direct translation, you write an equal sign. The word of directly translates to multiplication. And then if it says like what number or what percent or whatever, that's going to be your variable. Oh, so so this X right here doesn't mean X, it means times. So I'll just put a dot to indicate times. Okay. So for A, we have what number, so that's X, is, then put your equal sign, 45%, but we need to express that as a decimal of, meaning multiplication, 84. So see how nice that was? Super easy. We're just directly translating. Okay, so 45% of 84 is just 0.45 times 84. So the number is 37.8. Okay, B, 8.5% of what amount is $4.76. So 8.5% expressed as a decimal is 0.085 of means times. So, and then it says it in a weird way, what amount? So that's X is translates to equals 4.76, okay? So all we need to do is divide by 0.085, both sides. Okay, that cancels here. 4.76 divided by 0.085 is 56. So X is equal to 56. Okay, so that's B. Lastly, 168 is, so that means equals what percent? So X of, so times 112. So we need to divide both sides by 112. Okay, so that 168 divided by 112, that's 1.5, but we're not done yet because that's the decimal form of the percentage, right? So 1.5 is equal to X, but we need to describe it as a percentage. So we need to move the decimal place 2 spaces over. So X percentage is 150%. Okay. All right, let's do a few more examples. We have here the label on Audrey's yogurt says that one serving provided 12 grams of protein, which is 24% of the recommended daily amount. What is the total recommended daily amount of protein? So 12 grams is 24% of something. We don't know. That's actually what they're asking us, right? What is that? So X is the total, daily amount of protein, recommended amount protein. Okay, fine. So 12 is 24% expressed as a decimal times X. So then, you remember when we write a number and X right next to each other, that indicates multiplication. So then we have 12 divided by 0.24. So X is equal to 50. And that's it. So 50 is the recommended daily amount of protein, 50 grams, because we were using grams. Okay, Veronica is planning to make muffins from a mix. The package says each muffin will be 240 calories and 60 calories will be from fat. What percent is of the total calories is from fat? Now remember, to find a percentage is a decimal, which is a fraction, which is a ratio, right? They're all different ways of expressing the same thing. So when you're trying to find a percentage of something, it's usually part over the whole, right? Over the total. Total goes in the denominator, right? So here, if we want to know percent from fat, calories from fat, okay, the total calories is 240. And the fat calories are 60. So that's what we need to do. So this is equal to 1/4, which is equal to 0.25. But we need to express that as a percent. So that's 25%. Okay, now let's talk about finding percent change. In order to find percent change, you have your new amount and you have your original amount. Okay, so you subtract the two and then you divide that by the original amount. So let's say here, for instance, let's do a problem. Recently, the California governor proposed raising community college fees from 36 units, so that's original, that's the OG, to $46 a unit, that's new. Find the percent change. So let's find the actual change first. 36 minus 46. Oh, sorry, that's backwards. I did that backwards. So 46 minus 36. So it changed $10. Now the percent change, you have to put the change divided by the original. So 10 divided by the original was 36. So 10 divided by 36, that gives you 0.27, but we need to express that as a decimal. Yeah, okay. So we need to move it 2 spaces, so you get 27 point, and if we round it, 8%. Okay. So it increased by 27.8%. It's quite a bit. All right, so discount. So let's talk about discount, which is a similar percentage application. We have the amount of discount equals the discount rate times the original price. And the sale price would be the original amount minus the discount price. So another thing that we're going to use is markup. So if people mark up a cost, you have the markup rate times the original price, and that'll give you an amount. And then your list price or your new price is going to be original cost plus the markup. Okay, so for sales, the sale price should always be less than the original. And for markups, the list price should always be more than the original cost. Okay, so let's do a few problems here. We have Liam's art gallery bought a painting at an original cost of $750. So original cost is $750. He marked the price up 40%. So A, let's find the amount of markup. So what is the markup? 40% of, remember we use it as a decimal, 750. So 40% of 750 is 300. That's a lot, actually. That's fine. So then the list price, that's a lot to charge for a painting. So it's going to be the original cost plus the markup, and the markup is 300. So the list price is going to be $1,050. Whew. Okay. Last thing we want to talk about is simple interest. Now, simple interest is actually pretty simple. All you have to remember is that the amount of interest equals the principal amount times the rate times the time. Okay, so it's not bad. So it's basically if you borrow money or you invest some money called the principal for a certain time period of T years at an annual interest rate R. Okay, so that's what that is. So let's do an example here. So I is equal to PRT. Areli invested a principal of $950. Right away I go, oh, okay, P equals 950. That's fine. In her bank account that earned simple interest at an interest rate of 3%. R is, we use it as a decimal. Remember, we always do calculations with percentages expressed as decimals. How much interest did she earn in 5 years? So the question is, they want to know what I is. Okay, and then the time is 5 because it's 5 years. So we're just plugging in stuff here, right? So we let I be I. Principal is 950. The rate is 3%, expressed as a decimal, 0.03 times 5 years. Okay, so we have 950 times 0.03 times 5, and that's $142.50. So $142.50. Okay, let's do a few more. Okay, Heng borrowed $7,500 from her parents to pay her tuition. So principal is $7,500. In 5 years, so team is 5, she paid them $1,500 interest in addition to the $7,500 she borrowed. Okay, what was the rate? So in this case, we're finding the rate. So we still use the formula I equals PRT, except I is given to us, P is given to us, principal is given to us. The rate we don't know, so we leave that as R, and then we have time is 5. So we have 1,500 is equal to, and what's 7,500 times 5? That's 37,500, and that's going to be times R, don't forget. So to solve for R, we need to divide by 37,500. Okay, so what is that? R is equal to, and then we have 1,500 divided by 37,500. Oops, and then that's going to be 0.04. But remember, we need to express it as a percent. So the rate is 4%. Okay. Okay, Sean's new car loan statement said that he would pay $4,866 and I think this is a decimal, 25 cents in interest from a simple interest rate of 8.5 over 5 years. How much did he borrow to buy his new car? So they're asking for principal. They give us the interest. So the interest is 4,866.25. The rate is 8.5% or 0.085. Time is 5 years. So we plug everything in. So I equals PRT. It's a good habit to write down whatever formula you're using in your work, because eventually someone's going to, you're going to have to grade in something that you do by hand. And it's very helpful to see when the student understands what formula is being applied and they list the, Okay, so now we're just plugging everything in. 5 equals P. We don't know what P is, so we let that be P. Okay, times 0.085 times 5. Okay, so what's 5 times 0.085? Oopsies. 5 times 0.085. That's 0.425. So we have 4,866 and 25 cents, or 25 hundredths, is equal to 0.425 times P. So then we divide both sides by 0.425 or 425 thousandths. So let's go ahead and do that. 4,866 and 25 cents divided by 425 thousandths. So the principal amount is $11,450. Okay. Alrighty, so that's it for section 2.2. Here is your super fun homework. Good luck, happy studying, and I will see you in the next video.